Hi everybody, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for tuning into this video. At first I thought that I would do probably about 3 or 4 videos talking about these fish. However, I just decided that regardless of how lengthy this video might be, I will just talk about them one go, probably is 10-15 minutes, and you understand a little bit better as everything just flow at once. Okay, so here in this container, you have 3 species of fish, right? You have the Mengano, the Demasoni, and yellow labs. All right, I place 4 yellow labs in a small tub in which I had. I ended up with 6, which points to the fact that I have a male, I have a female, and some breeding had actually taken place. Okay, alright. And then I have some Demasoni. I did a video on these fish a few weeks ago, if not days, where I spoke about these fish being really expensive and really difficult to actually get in Jamaica, right? Probably where you're at, they are very easy to get, and you actually see them when they are very large. Okay, in Jamaica, that is not so, right? You mostly see live bears at every pet shop, but not every pet shop would have like cichlids like these. Okay, so the Mengano, mmm-boon-a, they have horizontal stripes, blue stripes, light blue, dark blue, right? The Demasoni, on the other hand, they have vertical stripes, light blue, dark blue. Sometimes, if you're not careful when they're very small, you tend to confuse both, right? And the yellow lab, they have stripes too, but you have to look very good to see them. Light yellow and dark yellow, right? But you have to look very good to see them, and their stripes are vertically inclined. Okay, so let's talk about the Mengano first. Alright, so the Mengano, by the way, cichlids with egg spots. Once you see the egg spot on the cichlid, the Mbuna, that suggests that it's the possibility of it actually breeding is like probably about 95%, right? If there's no egg spot, it simply means that it's very small and it's not mature yet to actually develop eggs and to actually breed, right? So some of these fish might not have egg spots while some may. For example, the yellow labs, they do have egg spots. The smaller ones, they don't. All right. The yellow lab, the male has the little dark line like at the top. I don't know what the type of fin you call that. The one on the top of the head, like going back to the tail, right? It has a dark black stripe. That's the male. The female has no dark spot on it, not whatsoever. Okay, the Mengano, on the other hand, you can tell the male and the female by color variation, and sometimes it's a little bit difficult because depending on the angle which you are looking at it, both of them might actually have like the same shade, right? So you have to be looking at it at the same angle. Then you can see the male and the female. Now the female is normally lighter in color, while the male is normally darker in color. The female is normally smaller in size, and the male is normally larger in size. The male is a little bit more aggressive than the female. That's the Mengano. All right, so let's go to my Demasoni. Now I have 7 Demasoni, right? And seems as if I have 2 females and 5 males. That is going to cause a problem. I'm trying for about nearly a year now to get more females, But as I said before, it's very difficult to get these fish within the pet shop, because if as soon as they actually land in the pet shop, before they even put them into the register to say okay they code them and all that, they are sold. Alright, so it's very difficult for you to actually get them. Alright, so I just have to do what I have to do. Okay, so I have 7 Demonsoni. Alright, so Demonsoni, the male, bright in color, usually a little bit more aggressive than the female, and more active than the female. Right, the female, dull in color, dull, have no shininess, just dull blue, and is usually smaller than the male. Right, they grow to an average of probably about 3.5 to 4 inches in full size, even a little bit more. Yeah, probably about 4.5. If you treat them really well. Right, now all of these fish are like rockfish. They call them rockfish because where they are from, they practically live in the rock. They are so aggressive to each other that they use the rock as a place in which they can actually hide from the aggressors. Okay, point to note, when I was actually taking them out of the small pond to place them into the large toad, they love the rock so much that they went into the rock and hide. Now, I knew about this, so therefore I'm sharing it with you. Whenever you have these fish and you have rock work like I do, whether it is the manufactured rock work or real rock, you have to be very careful when you're actually removing the rock from the pond or the aquarium, because fish will hide into these rocks and you will not see them, and sometime afterwards everything is finished, you will realize that the fish have actually died in the rock. So I took out one of the rocks, and in inspecting the rock I saw a fish perched in a corner within the rock, so I had to just shake out the rock in the water before I actually remove the rock totally from the system. Alright, so I have 3 different type of Mbuna Cichlid within my whole setup at the back, and I be placing them in a 250-gallon tote. I also be placing a pump in it, but for now, plans for the time being. If I do not place any pump in it within the next like 2 weeks or so, the water will get dark, green, and smelly. So because it's very large, it's a lot of rock work, and it's a good amount of fish. Alright, so I intend to do that very, very shortly. Alright, just that I never get the time to. Okay, so further on in talking about these fish. Alright, so these fish, the female tend to keep their eggs through the different stages of development in their mouth. Now they have what you call a sac in which the eggs are at, the larva develops, and then now it becomes wrigglers. Then now it becoming free swimming wrigglers, and the fries would actually swim out of its mouth. Right? It is at this time that they are more vulnerable to predation from other tank mates. So what will happen is that the fries will seek hiding for the first couple of days, if not weeks, of their life, until they have actually passed mouth size, or you call it bite size, in that the tank mates will not pursue them to consume them. Although they are vegetarians, but the tank mates will nibble at anything that looks as if it can hold in their mouth. They're very good at, at that. Alright, so I have these cichlids, and they're very colorful, they're very nice, they're very swift, and they're very difficult to catch. Right now, these fish, they fetch a good price within the pet, what should I say, pet shop, or yeah, within the aquatic market. So if I should, let's say I breed 100 Mengano, I would take home more money than, let's say, I'm breeding Oscars. And the Demasone is crazy money, because as I said before, they are very colorful, they are very bright. Alright, a point to note: Mbuna Cichlids should not be kept with other cichlids, not because they are brooding cichlids. Right, Mbuna cichlids are very aggressive, and they tend to kill what should I say, they're so aggressive that they tend to kill their tank mates if their tank mates does not have the temperament like they do. Right, I've stayed far from the Aratus, because I know that that's a very the Aratus is more aggressive than the Mengano, so you must imagine what I'm talking about. I've stayed far from that fish. I think I'm gonna get a pair, however. See how that works out for me, but I'm just waiting a little bit until these fish actually go out a little bit more. My emphasis here is to breed them. Right, so I have these fish, and they are mouth-breathing cichlids, and they can be found on the continent of Africa. Right, that means they like warm climate, and they like rock work, and they like their pH at a particular level. If you are planning to keep these fish, I implore that you ensure that you stick to the rules and do not place fish in it that is not compatible with staying afloat. Right, so I believe strongly, some persons might disagree, that emboomers must be kept with emboomers, and not the rule where they say that mouth brooders be kept with mouth brooders, because you can have a mouth brooder, for example, a Malawian peacock. That is a mouth brooder. You can have that fish be kept with a Mengano, and in a few weeks time the Malawian peacock would be dead. Right, size for size, it's very aggressive, that's the Mengano, and it will be dead. Right, so you have to be very careful when you're actually grouping your fish, for you want your fish to live for a very long period of time. All right, so these are my cichlids, and I will be placing them into my 250-gallon tote. Okay, so here are my cichlids, my Mbuna cichlids. They're actually swimming in this large 250-gallon tote, and they'll be here for a while. I've actually removed them from their small container, so they have more space to grow, and more space to breed, and more space for the flies to actually hide. Right, I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing with the small tubs in which they originally came from. However, I think I might place a few of my live bearers there, such as my guppies and my swordtails, so as to bring up those population. It's a little bit cool now, so the frogs have actually gone. I don't know if they're hibernating or they're just hiding, but the frogs are not here. They normally come out when it's warm, so they are not here. So I am going to put out some live bearers out there so as to breed, and as soon as the frogs return, I'll take them in, and I place some more cichlids there too, so as to deal with that problem. But since I have actually discovered how they have actually procreated around my yard, that's the frogs, I am able to control their breeding, control their population. As a result, I have had no sightings for the past 2 months, and things are just going okay. Alright, so this video is a little bit long. I hope that you found it interesting. Thank you very much for stopping by. Enough respect. Right here. Peace.